how do you make that decision if it ultimately is, say, an Albert-Danny decision as far as who opens games as a third receiver? Not to say it's automatically those two, but what would lead to how that decision is made?
We're so far away from that. I understand I completely understand the question, and it's a great problem to have as a coach. When you are deep at a position like we are there, those guys are working really hard, competing. I've been really, really impressed with Albert Wilson and Danny Amendola. Their work ethic, they're both very professional, very quarterback friendly. Quarterbacks have a high trust level in both of them. And the thing is, like, we'll watch the tape, we'll game plan, we'll figure out who's the best matchups that week, and it could be we're in a 13 personnel to start the game or whatever, and both those guys will get plenty of time.
With your tight ends, what have you seen from Gesicki and Durham? And at this point, obviously, it's natural to see the veterans out there more with the first group. Is that a function of them knowing more, or have Gesicki and Smythe maybe not done enough to this point to get more first group?
Well, number one, everything in this league is earned, and you got to earn it, and you got to go out there and do it. And you know, Coach Gase is a believer in worker. You guys know him; he's a grinder. Like he came up a unique, hard, long way, and he believes that everyone should go that route. And so we're expanding both their roles. We're figuring out what they do well, and that's a process in itself, especially when we get two new young guys. But they've taken the stuff very quickly. They're both really intelligent guys. They work at it. So they're coming along the way we want to, and we're going to just keep doing stuff with those guys, especially Mike. Mike's a little bit unique. Durham is a Y, and Mike G is more of a, we got to find out exactly what he can and can't do and what he can and can't handle early. And as the season goes, his play in the off season goes and training camp, his package will expand and his routes will expand as we find out what he can and can't do.
I know a lot of this predates your arrival here, but for a while now we've been waiting to see Devontae Parker's performance match his potential. What are you seeing out of him now that might give you confidence that he's going to fulfill that potential?
He was a guy that, coming out that we graded very high in Chicago. I thought he was a good football player there, and I've been really impressed since I got here with his work ethic. The guy spent a ton of time here in the offseason. We have a really good support staff. We're very fortunate that way, and the time we obviously weren't allowed to spend a lot of time with him as a coaching staff, but he was in the building, grinding, doing the things he needed to do, and seeing a very professional guy that is trying to get better every day. And, the thing to him, for us, like, we just keep reminding him, hey, keep stacking good days. Like, keep stacking them up. We'll count them at the end, and just keep improving each day. We try to give him stuff to work on, and he's done that to the best that he could right now.
Dowell, in your experience, how important is players mentoring other players, and can they often impart wisdom that you can't impart?
I think it's part of every good football team. I think it's Coach Gase and the coaching staff can only do so much, and peer accountability is more important than anything. When it becomes their team, then we'll be a good football team. Every good football team, I've been a part of 13-3 teams, and I've been part of 6-10 teams, and the difference was the veterans on the team. They created a culture in the locker room, and they held the people to the standard and the accountability that that needs to take place to win. Yesterday, we didn't have our best practice offensively, and then credit to the defense, and just didn't have the urgency that we needed to, and missed a couple of small things, and it starts to create sloppiness. And what the message to all those guys was, hey, Kilgore, Amendola, Tannehill, Sitton, all you guys that are pros, that are veterans, Frank Gore, like, we can say it as much as we want, but until it becomes your football team and you guys talk about it and you guys hold those young players to a standard, like, all we're going to do is talk about it. We can't go on the field and affect change like you guys can, and that's why Coach Gase did what he did. He built the team he wanted to coach.
Has Jakeem Grant showed you that he's done enough to earn a spot in the receiver rotation? But I don't know if it's a 3 or 4 man rotation. But.
Yeah, I don't know that right now, but I do know Jakeem is a good football player. He shows up every day. He's an explosive player, and I don't just say that because we see eye to eye, literally. But I really have been impressed with the kid. And, the thing that he started flashing at the end of the season. And, we had a high grade on him coming out of Texas Tech. And Coach Fox really liked him as a returner coming out. And, obviously Coach Gase and Chris Greer and those guys drafted him before we could. But, just the potential that he has as a playmaker. And then I think he's done a really good job continue to grow that way and keep expanding his route tree. And he's short in stature, but he does not think he's short. He does not play short. He plays like a big person. His mindset is that, and he's had a really good camp so far.
What would you like to see more of from him, whether it's expertise on the outside or better in the slot or anything?
Yeah, I think he has the ability to play a lot of spots, but when you first see him, you're going to label him a slot because everyone sees that. He is a long-striding, explosive athlete. Very much the case of like a guy like in Atlanta, there's much Chicago. We had in Cleveland, Taylor Gabriel. He's a long-striding, explosive player, so he has the ability to play on the outside and be good there. And he can change a game in one snap, and we just need consistency. And he needs reps and to keep working. And he's doing a really good job with every opportunity he's been given so far. Yes, sir.
Third row. 33 looks fast, and I know it's just pads, but fill me in a little on some obvious things you've already noticed and some not so obvious things he'll need to do to play on Sundays.
Yeah, the obvious thing is what you guys see is like when he walks through the door, that's where you draw him up like that. He's big. He's good in protection. Can catch the ball, and can be a matchup issue in the passing game. But it's kind of like what we talked about in the draft and that process is you want guys that you really like a guy that can play in all three downs, and you don't want to get limited by smaller stature guys that you got to take out on third down, or a guy that that's what Drake is, a guy that can play all three downs, and I think Kalen fits that vision as well. He can catch the football, he can be a weapon out of the backfield, but he's also big enough in pass pro where he needs to grow is the NFL game and nickel protections and learning that stuff, because that's obviously the biggest transition in the NFL is going in there and you got odd defenses and you got spinners and floaters and trap blitzes and all those things. Like, he's got to master that stuff, and the more exposures that he gets, the better he's going to be at it.
Were you surprised that he lasted the fourth round?
Chris Greer could answer that better than I did. I liked him, and I was really fired up when we drafted him.
Dowell, without listing the entire roster, please, can you tell me, is there a guy that you walked in and you thought, man, this guy just does everything right, this is one of our guys?
The new additions, definitely. I'm trying to think. Ryan Tannehill, I mean, that's an obvious. The new guys we brought in, the guy that I think has made the biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2 is Jesse Davis. He's taken a huge jump. The first week he got beat on his hands a couple times, and he's really drilled the right way. He's practicing the right way, and I've seen a jump in his performance to this point. I'm excited to get him in training camp, and we put pads on and see what he does that way.
You're obviously so hard to judge offensive line play at this time of year.
Yeah.
Your tackles, any impressions of Tunsil and James and how they've looked initially?
Really athletic. It's shown up. Just their ability. They're young kids too. Both of them are young, but they have the ability to really move, and they should be good in pass pro. And the thing that's going to help them, and Laramie's going to be talking about this experience 5 years from now, going against Robert Quinn every day. And there's, you can't put a value on that. And you're facing one of the best edge pass rushers in the game, one-on-one for 30, 40 snaps a day. It's going to make him better, and it makes you go to practice with an intent and purpose, because if you don't, then he will expose you.
In the practices we've seen, Bryce maybe has been a little more consistent with accuracy than Brock. But of course, we haven't seen all of them. Overall, who maybe has been the most consistent among those two and Bryce among your backups?
I don't want to compare anyone right now. What Brock has is unbelievable command of the offense. He was in it. He got to learn from the best in the game, number 18. And when you watch his huddle etiquette, his line of scrimmage, procedure etiquette, like, he does an outstanding job there. Bryce is a guy that is extremely talented. He's got talent, and we got to coach him hard and get that stuff out of him. He's got some things in his footwork and those things that we're working really hard to get consistent and create more accuracy for him. And it's something we've talked to him about, is just there's not enough time in the offseason anymore. Like, the rules they are what they are, but it used to be in January we start working with these guys in February, and they just grind quarterbacks, and it's hard now. And so every Monday when he's off and every Friday when he's off on the weekends, he needs to keep working on his drops and the consistency in his footwork, because if he gets all that part of him right, he has enough talent in his upper body to play.
I meant Fails. I misspoke. It's not outside. Fails a little more
Yes.
consistent than Brock, as you probably expect.
And well,
As far as what
yes, sir. I understand. I'm trying to stay away from the comparisons with those two. David has been consistent. He's played within the system. David is a guy that if you say, hey, this is a progression, but this is an alert. If you get it versus quarters, you can take it. He's taking it. Like, he's going to be aggressive in the timing of plays. He did have the benefit of being here. The offense has been tweaked a little bit, even since I was with Adam in Chicago in 2015, and when Fales was with us then. Like, so he does have the advantage of being here last year and understanding those things. And he's playing at the highest level I've ever seen him play. And credit to him, because he's done a lot of stuff in the summer and the off season with the strength training stuff, and he's worked really hard to get stronger and be a more accurate passer with more power.
And with one more thing, just on Derby, just the skill set you've seen. We know obviously he can catch the ball. Do you have any sense for him as a blocker from tape from Denver last year?
Well, he's an Arkansas guy, number one, so I'm a little bit biased. No, that's one area he has to improve. Like, the thing he has is he's was a former quarterback at Arkansas, and he's got football IQ. He's got awareness in zones. He understands how coverages are going to play out. One thing that we definitely have to work with AJ is his blocking and running off the football and doing those things at a higher level. But in the passing game, he's been good so far.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
All right, you guys have a good one.
And that's the vacation question. Have you planned your vacation?
I live in paradise. Why would I leave?